Good morning and welcome back, Soul Family. Whether you're new here or have been with us for a while, we're really happy to have you. If this is your first time joining, welcome. And for those returning, thank you for your continued support and energy. It means so much that we can share this journey together. And today's message is one that I know many of you will resonate with deeply. Today, we're talking about something that many of us have experienced at one point or another in our lives: being misunderstood. For a long time, you might have been seen as the weird one. Maybe people didn't understand your choices, your way of thinking, or your spiritual path. But that's changing now. Today, you're being recognized as the wise one. The days of people judging you or seeing you as strange are coming to an end. Instead, they're starting to see the wisdom that you've always had within you. Let's be honest, most of us have been through this at some point. Whether it was with friends, family, or even coworkers, there was a time when people didn't get us. They might have thought we were making odd choices or following a path that didn't make sense to them. But here's the thing: the divine has always had a plan for you. Even when you were misunderstood, your journey was guided by something higher. And now, people are beginning to see that you were never strange. You were simply ahead of your time. I want to share a personal story here because I think it will help some of you who are feeling this shift right now. When I first embraced my spiritual path, I had a really tough time with my mother. She didn't understand why I was doing what I was doing. To her, it seemed like I was moving away from the way I was raised and the beliefs we had always shared. It caused a lot of tension between us, and there were moments when I felt really alone in my journey. I know that some of you have gone through something similar, where people close to you, the ones you thought would always support you, just didn't get it. Maybe they even distanced themselves from you or cut ties completely. That period of isolation can be so painful, but looking back, I realized that it was necessary. It gave me the space to grow stronger, to learn more about myself, and to heal. Sometimes, we need that time away from others to truly understand our purpose and who we are. And while it's hard to be alone, it's in those moments that we often find our greatest strength. Many of you have been through similar experiences. Maybe it was with family members, friends, or colleagues who didn't understand your connection to spirituality, your love for nature, or your practices like meditation or stargazing. They might have thought it was strange or even mocked you for it. But here's the beautiful thing: those same people are now beginning to see the truth. They are realizing that the wisdom you've been carrying all along is exactly what's needed in today's world. I know it can be hard when people doubt you. I've been there, and I know how it feels to have others gossip about you or make fun of your beliefs. There may have been times when you wanted to share your spiritual experiences or the wisdom you've gained, but not everyone was ready to hear it. And that's okay. Not everyone is meant to understand you in the moment, but that doesn't mean your wisdom isn't valid or important. What was once seen as weird is now being recognized as wisdom. The divine is opening people's eyes, and they are starting to see you for who you truly are. You've always been wise, but now the world is finally catching up. People are noticing your growth, your authenticity, and your power. They're realizing that the very things they once mocked you for are the things that are needed for true peace and balance in the world. Spirit is saying that those who once doubted you are now witnessing your transformation. They see how far you've come, and they are starting to understand that your journey was never about being different for the sake of being different. It was about following your inner truth and connecting with something higher. Now, they see that your wisdom has always been real, and they're beginning to respect you for it. I want to take a moment to acknowledge how hard this journey has been for many of us. The path of spirituality is not always easy, especially when those around us don't understand. You may have faced criticism, mockery, or even rejection from people with different beliefs. It's easy to doubt yourself when others make you feel like you're wrong or that your experiences aren't valid. But Spirit and the Divine are showing them now that they were mistaken and you were right all along. Let me share another personal story that really drove this home for me. A while ago, I received a message from a distant aunt who I hadn't spoken to in a long time. She reached out to ask how I was doing, and at first, I thought she was just checking in. But as we talked, I realized that she was really trying to see if I regretted the spiritual path I had chosen. She asked if I still felt like I was on the right path, or if I thought I had made a mistake. It was clear that she was concerned about my choices, even though I was happier and more fulfilled than ever. What she didn't realize is that my spiritual journey had brought me so much peace and clarity. I didn't need her validation or anyone else's approval. I knew in my heart that I was on the right path, even if others couldn't see it yet. And now, even she is starting to understand. The people who once doubted me, who once doubted you, are beginning to see the light. The divine is working through you, and your transformation is something that others can't ignore. They are witnessing your growth, your strength, and your wisdom. What was once seen as strange is now being celebrated. You are being recognized for the wise one you've always been. So, if you're feeling this shift, know that you're not alone. Many of us are going through it right now, and it's a beautiful thing. The world is waking up to the truth of who you are. Keep shining your light, keep sharing your wisdom, and trust that the divine is guiding you every step of the way. When I first decided to open up about my trauma, I thought it would help me heal. I expected my family and friends to understand, support, and comfort me. But things didn't go as I had imagined. No one seemed to get what I was going through. My mom, who I thought would be there for me, ended up thinking I was being ungrateful. She didn't see the pain I was feeling inside. Instead, she thought I was complaining about my life. It hurt because I wasn't trying to seem ungrateful. I was just trying to express the emotions and struggles I had been holding inside for so long. My stepsister, on the other hand, was completely surprised. She had no idea that I had been through something so traumatic. It was as if my struggles had been invisible to her all this time. I guess sometimes we assume that people close to us see everything that's happening in our lives. But the truth is, they don't always notice. My stepsister didn't mean any harm. She just never knew what I was going through. Still, her shock made me feel even more alone, like my trauma wasn't real or important enough to be noticed. Then there was my aunt. When I shared my feelings with her, hoping for some comfort or understanding, she completely dismissed what I was saying. She brushed it off, as if my pain wasn't valid or worth talking about. That really stung. I had gone to her thinking she would listen, but instead, she acted like it didn't matter. It made me question myself. Was I overreacting? Was my trauma not as serious as I thought? Her dismissal made me doubt my own feelings, which only added to the pain I was already carrying. The hardest part, though, was talking to my friends. Some of them laughed when I told them about my experiences. They thought I was being too clingy or needy just because I wanted deeper, more meaningful connections. I had always felt like I wanted more from my friendships, more honesty, more vulnerability, more realness. But to them, that seemed strange. They didn't understand why I was asking for something more. Instead of being supportive, they made jokes about it, leaving me feeling misunderstood and isolated. Many people in my life tried to change me. They didn't like the choices I was making, and they were vocal about it. They told me I should behave differently, act more normal, or just be the version of myself they were comfortable with. But the thing is, I wasn't trying to stay the same. Deep down, I wanted to grow. I wanted to become a better, stronger person. And I think that scared some people. They feared that if I grew and changed, I wouldn't need them anymore, or that I would outshine them in some way. It's strange, but I've learned that people sometimes fear growth, especially when it's happening in someone close to them. Instead of encouraging me, they tried to hold me back. People often fear what they don't understand, and when they're scared, they attack. That's what happened to me. People who didn't understand my journey labeled me as weird or insane. Some even called me dark or said I was involved in things that weren't good. It was hurtful to be misunderstood like that, but I knew deep down that those labels didn't define me. I held on to the belief that the divine would eventually show them the truth. Now, I can feel those labels being removed, as if they were never meant to stick to me in the first place. The divine has been working in my life, slowly helping me shed those false identities that others tried to place on me. I'm learning to let go of the need for people to understand me or validate my experiences. What matters most is that I understand myself and that the divine knows the truth of my heart and my journey. One thing I've come to realize is that people judged and criticized me because they didn't recognize the light within me. I carry a certain light, a presence that some people don't understand. When I enter a room, I can feel their eyes on me, wondering who I am or what makes me different. It's not always a warm or welcoming feeling. It's as if they're saying, "Who is this strange person?" They don't realize that the light they see in me is something divine, something they haven't connected with yet. And that's okay. I've learned that not everyone is on the same spiritual journey, and some people just aren't ready to see the light in others. Through my experiences, though, I've gained a lot of wisdom. The divine has guided me through some tough times, and I've come out stronger on the other side. I've learned to see the truth in situations where others may be blind. I know now that I'm not the strange one. I'm just connected to something higher, something that others may not understand yet. And that's okay. The divine is now showing everyone who I really am. It's revealing the truth about my journey and my growth. I'm no longer trapped by the things that once tried to hold me back. I haven't let myself be blinded by trends, false influences, or the opinions of others. Instead, I've stayed true to the light within me. I'm becoming a beacon, a guiding light that shows others the path to the divine. And those who once laughed at me or judged me are now starting to wonder. It's funny how things can change. The same people who once doubted me or made fun of me are now looking back, trying to figure out how I've come so far. They see that I've grown, that I'm not the person they once knew. Some of them are even reaching out, asking for advice or guidance. They want to know how I managed to stay true to myself and rise above the challenges. They're curious about the wisdom I've gained along the way. I never expected to be in this position, to be the one others look to for guidance. But here I am, and I'm grateful for the journey I've been on. The struggles I went through have shaped me into the person I am today. I've learned that it's okay to be misunderstood. It's okay if others don't see the light in you right away. What matters is that you keep shining, keep growing, and stay connected to the divine. Now, I'm stepping into my true self, letting go of the old labels and embracing the new, higher version of myself. I'm no longer afraid of what people think. I know that the divine has a plan for me, and that's all that matters. Those who laughed at me before are now seeing the truth, and I'm ready to keep moving forward, shining my light for all to see. The journey hasn't been easy, but it's been worth it. And I know that I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. In life, we all go through moments when people don't understand us. Maybe they don't agree with what we're saying or doing, and they distance themselves. I've had many people in my past who didn't see things the way I did. Some of them called me names or said negative things about me, while others just stayed away because they thought I was different. But here's the interesting part. some of those same people have now come back. They've realized that there's more to what I was saying than they first thought. They want to learn from me now because they're seeing changes in their own lives and want to improve. At some point, it felt like being labeled as weird or crazy was a bad thing. Those labels hurt, and it wasn't easy to be pushed aside by friends, family, or even people I didn't know well. But over time, I've come to see that this separation was actually a blessing in disguise. The space I was given allowed me to focus on my own growth. When people moved away from me or shut me out, it gave me the chance to turn inward and work on becoming the best version of myself. Without the distractions of others constantly questioning me or pulling me in different directions, I could dive deep into my spiritual journey and focus on my purpose. What's amazing is that staying true to my path, even when it was lonely, has brought everything full circle. The same people who used to doubt me or call me crazy are now going through their own challenges. They're realizing that life isn't as straightforward as they once thought. Some of them are facing personal struggles, loss, or tough times, and they're beginning to see that what I was talking about all along might actually have value. They're starting to understand that my experiences gave me wisdom and that I wasn't just speaking for the sake of it. I was speaking from a place of knowing because I've walked that difficult road myself. Now, these individuals are paying attention. They want to listen to what I have to say, and some are even reaching out for guidance. It's as if the things that made me seem different before are now the very things they respect. They're recognizing that I have something real to offer, based on my own journey through ups and downs, pain and healing. But here's something else I've learned. You won't always be available when people are ready to listen. It's important to set boundaries for yourself, especially when you've worked hard to grow spiritually and emotionally. For me, this meant taking a step back from certain things. I've taken breaks from my phone, social media, and even from some people in my life. I realized that I needed time to focus on myself without outside influences pulling me off track. In fact, one of the best decisions I made was to retreat into a quiet space where I could reconnect with myself and with spirit. This time away has allowed me to recharge and realign with my purpose. It's given me the clarity to see who is truly aligned with my path and who isn't. And honestly, I've enjoyed being unavailable to people who aren't on the same wavelength. I've found peace in not always being reachable, especially when the ones trying to connect with me aren't supportive of my journey. During this time, something wonderful has happened. I've started to attract the right people, those who really understand me. These are my soul tribe, the people who resonate with my energy and who are on similar paths of growth and spiritual discovery. These are the connections that feel real and nourishing. These people are here to support my journey, just as I am here to support theirs. Together, we help each other grow in both spiritual and practical ways, building a community of like-minded individuals who truly care for one another's well-being. Being part of a soul tribe feels completely different from the friendships and connections I had in the past. There's no judgment or negativity here. Instead, there's a deep sense of understanding and mutual respect. We all know what it's like to be on a tough spiritual path, and we're here to uplift each other, not tear each other down. It's a beautiful thing to finally find the people who get you on every level. In the past, I was often seen as the odd one out. People didn't understand why I believed what I believed, why I acted the way I did, or why I seemed so focused on my spiritual path. But now, that has changed. I'm no longer seen as the weird one, even though I still embrace that title. After all, being different is what makes us unique and powerful. I've come to understand that the real weird ones are those who pretend to be something they're not. They're the ones who act one way in front of others, but secretly live in ways that don't align with kindness or truth. Those people may put on a good show, but they're not standing in their light. As for me, I will keep standing in my light. I will keep walking this path, no matter what anyone else says or thinks. It's the only way to stay true to myself and to the spiritual journey I'm on, and I encourage you to do the same. No matter how hard it gets, no matter how many people doubt you or try to push you down, keep going. Your light is needed in this world, and your journey is important. I also want to take a moment to thank everyone who has supported me along the way. Your belief in me, your positive energy, and your encouragement mean more than I can express. It's not always easy to find people who will stand by you through thick and thin, but I've been fortunate to have some incredible people in my corner. Whether you've followed my journey from the beginning or are just joining now, I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. If this message resonates with you, if it speaks to something in your heart, please like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps spread this message to others who might need it. And if you'd like a personal reading, I'm here for you. You can find all the details in the description box. Remember, we're all on this journey together, and every bit of love and support makes a difference. Stay blessed, stay strong, and keep shining your light. The world needs more people like you, who are brave enough to be themselves and follow their own path, even when it's difficult. Have a blessed day, and thank you for being part of this journey with me.